Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 2 or so hours, along with Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nick sent an IM that he's going to be shoveling snow, so he said, I don't know that I'll be able to be there at 9. So he'll join us later.
Well, why would you shovel snow? I mean, it's going to keep coming down, and all you're going to have to do is go do it again. What's the point?
Well, Jeff, I'll explain in a second. And Spence is somewhere at the coast, and he said no internet or hardly. He said something about like 400K is the best he could get, so he'll probably just join the chat. He won't even call in.
That's what he gets for staying in those cheap places.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. Away from everything.
Away from what?
Away from everything.
What define everything?
Yeah, everything. It's nice. Just go and don't be bothered with the cell phone, computer.
Right.
But anyway.
Like my father would say, I got to get out of town for a few days. From what, Dad? You're retired. You don't do anything.
Well, it's different with him.
Okay.
Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is being brought to you by Adamas.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. The broadcast is made possible by Telestream's Wirecast software. Jeff was saying no Vaughn stream. The Vaughn stream starts when we start the show. So this is the only stream that I stream out of the machine I'm on. The other streams are the ones that run 24/7, and I just take it out through there. I know, yes, it's the best stream for anybody because the resolution is a lot higher than the other ones. Yeah, Marl, did I send you that thing about Obama is trying to outlaw the 556 223?
Don't talk to him in chat. If he can call in, you can talk to him. If he can't,
yeah, he's gonna join us.
Then save it for then.
Yeah. I mean, it's got nothing to do with computers. It's just when he said constitutional right. So I remember what he was, that story I was reading. That's ridiculous. Good morning, Tim. So what's happening, Mike?
Not much.
It was kind of a slow week. And I guess the cold weather is not adding anything to enthusiasm. But one of the interesting, there's Marl. one of the interesting things that I came across is we just got a new Samsung TV, smart TV. Thank God it's dumb. Um, Looks like Samsung is spying on us.
Yep.
It's I don't think it's new, but with those new ones, they were even talking about some of the writers out there were saying that they actually would sell the information, whatever they hear in the room, they would sell it to vendors according to what you're talking about. So, whatever you're talking in the room, if you have one of the Samsung smart TVs with voice commands, voice recognition, a TV that you can talk to, um, the advice is to turn that feature off. Because otherwise, as long as it's on, they hear everything that's going, or they can hear everything that's going on in the room. And if that wasn't enough, there are reports that Samsung smart TVs have begun inserting short advertisements directly into video streaming apps with no influence from the third-party app providers. The news comes just days after Samsung made headlines for another incursion into users' lounge rooms when it was revealed that its TV voice recognition software is capable of capturing personal information and transmitting it to third parties. The issue has been reported on the Plex streaming service, a brand of media player that allows users to stream their own video from a personal library or hard drive and push it to the smart TV. So I don't know why why Samsung is doing all this, and if this is only has to do with Samsung. If I mean, we do have a smart TV. It doesn't have any of these voice recognition, and I didn't read anything to the contrary, so I feel sort of secure. But make sure that your TV, whatever it is, if it's a TV that you can talk to and give it commands by voice, chances are they hear everything that's going around in the house, in the room. I don't know, in the house. That's not good news for us. But I guess it's
Where does it stop, Amnon?
where does it stop?
Yes.
When you turn the TV off.
No, I'm talking about the intrusion.
There's no stopping it. This is that age of digital life. And I have another story here that I was reading about our digital life, but I'll talk about it a little bit later. Yeah, a case of when smart is too smart. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad our TV is dumb. I can see it kind of jumping off the wall mount, growing legs, and start following us in the house, right? So what's happening, Merle?
Hey guys, how are you?
All right. You're kind of low.
Yeah. Oh, am I?
No, you're not.
Okay. There we go. How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
What's happening?
Not much. Mike was busting my chops again, so I thought I better call in.
Oh, well, yeah. How are the
Yeah.
chops?
The chops, they're okay. Mike likes to bust my chops, but that's okay. I give him a lot of reasons to. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So did you see that story that they're trying to stop to ban 556 and 223, but I think it's got to do with armor piercing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, that's why I don't use armor piercing anyway. So
Yeah.
let law enforcement and in the military have it, but it's just a typical political move on their part. So whatever.
Yeah, no, this is I remember seeing it afterwards that it was.
Yeah, I'm going to go check that out though. I want to read that.
Boy, did I have a week from, I mean, well, I can't say a week from hell, but 2 days from hell.
Well, we haven't seen you. We figured you had to be busy.
With the business. Oh, geez. When was it? Wednesday. We use a switching router. It's a switch router. It's not a router. It does the work of a router, but it's a switch. It's a layer 2 switch. And it started forgetting some of the IPs, and customer would call and say, I can't get to my IP address, to my website. And I look, and sure enough, I can't even ping it. And there is a command that you can issue that will reestablish it, reintroduce it to the router. So we thought maybe it was a glitch. But no, it kept on happening. So Ron wrote a little script that would ping all the IPs continuously. And if one of them did not return an answer, it will send me an email. So Wednesday night, I didn't sleep much. And we decided, okay, that's it. We're going to change it because there's a problem. And of course, I have a backup. And Thursday morning, I mean, everything was okay at night. I mean, I didn't get any. Thursday morning, we're talking about making sure that the replacement router switch is working. And Ron wanted to get into the current one to see if anything changed, and there was no way of logging into it. So the thought was, okay, go change it. I mean, first we thought maybe we can just reboot the other one, but then he brought up a good point. He said, what if it doesn't come up? Then we're in real trouble. He has also 2 newer version of the same switch that can do IPv6. And we say, well, it's time to do IPv6. So he put them up on the table and got into them and configured them. And then he called, so I waited for that. Because he brought up a good point. He said, at least we have 2 of these. If we're going to use the replacement one that you have and something happens to it, you don't have a replacement for that. So let's use this one because you have 2 of them. They are, on these devices, you can put a read-only login and a read-write login. So you can give some people read-only so they can go in and look, or read-write. Put the same password. Turns out if you do that, you could only get in as read-only. So at that point, he couldn't get in. And he's trying all kinds of things, and he can't. I couldn't get into the spare one that I had. So called Spence, and Spence gave us some tips about, because these are an hotel and he knows about them, and got us to get into both of them. I went over to Ron, picked up that one. I mean, I was going to just go pick it up, but it turns out it took some time. So I waited, and at 5 o'clock, I go up there to put the router. Connected it to Time Warner, and Ron cannot get into it. Okay, I said, you know what, Ron? I'm going to go and get the smaller one from the car. I'll be right back. The entering the Time Warner facility requires a card that you swipe. So I went downstairs, got the other one, came up. I'm standing in front of the swiper, and I realized, oh shit. I left the card in my jacket pocket, and I don't have it. I mean, I was getting ready to break the door. And there's nobody in there. So I called Ron and I told him, I said, here's what happened. So I'm going to run home and get the spare card. And luckily, before I went downstairs, I connected it to the old, to the misfunctioning router. But it didn't come up right away. And when I came back up, it was still not up. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home. He said, I'm not just, don't fly. It's okay, you know. And I realized I'm not getting any phone calls. So because I let people know that it's going to go down. Drove home. Right before I got to the house, he calls. I said, well, he just came up. Everything is fine. So take your time. So I got the card, ate something, went back, and was ready to put the small one in. Now it's already about 8 o'clock. Ron was saying, while you were gone, I was reading a little bit. So try one thing. He said, take any of the computers that are on the 134 network and plug it into the new one that I couldn't get into before. Did that, everything came up. So he was reading somewhere that unless you have something plugged in, you can't get into the machine. It will not do any routing. He could get into the router, but he said it wasn't doing any routing. And I mean, talk about stress. I mean, at that point, I'm really getting nervous. But when he said that and everything was fine, okay, yeah, good. So we moved all the other machines over to that one, and everything is okay. Got home about 9:30. I'm telling you, this is not something that I wish on anybody to feel the way that I felt that afternoon, evening.
Get a Mac.
Yeah, right. The thing came right back. When we rebooted it, it came back. But now there's no way to test it. I mean, it's been running for a few years without rebooting. But there's no way to test it unless it's actually in live situation. So that was my Thursday, and Friday I was just waiting for something to break, and it didn't, and that was good. So that's why I wasn't in the chat or in the hangouts. I mean, after not sleeping good on Wednesday night, Thursday night I slept. And that was it.
So we've got you running your business, Nick shoveling snow, and you guys got to get your priorities in order.
Yeah, I know. So we need to
get a
find
government
somebody
job
else.
like
Need to
like
find
Merle has, so you be available all the time.
Merle was there.
Yeah, I was here all weekend.
Yeah.
I got a kitchen pass this weekend. You guys were all, AWOL, so.
I wasn't. I was here.
So, my lighting is off. Is it because of this? I don't know. I'm looking at my shot and it looks fine. Charles? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's the light is a little bit too far to the left in front of me. It's okay. Mike is the. Does it sound okay like this? If I put the
What
mic,
sound okay?
if me, I mean, if
If you're close enough to it, it does. Yes.
all right. This is an interesting story too here. Thefts involving smartphones have declined dramatically in 3 major cities since manufacturers began implementing kill switches. Kill switches that allow the phones to be turned off remotely if they are stolen. Authorities said on Tuesday the number of stolen iPhones dropped by 40% in San Francisco and 25% in New York in the 12 months after Apple added a kill switch to its devices in September 2013. In London, smartphone theft dropped by half, so they stole one, according to an announcement by officials in the 3 cities. So that's good outcome for something that some people thought would be a bad thing.
Well, yeah, but how do they know, or how can they attribute it to the kill switch? Maybe people just don't want iPhones anymore. I mean, really, how can you attribute that to a kill switch? I mean, what's their evidence?
That's a good.
I'm here all morning.
That's a good one, Merle.
Actually, I was trying to be serious, though. I wasn't trying to be funny.
Maybe they just don't want an iPhone.
Maybe they don't want an iPhone.
Well, with all due respect to Apple, they did have the biggest quarter they've ever had in history. They sold more iPhones last quarter than Microsoft did in total volume. So that might not be it.
Well, okay, yeah.
Oh.
But I do have a question. Don't you use Android?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
No,
Me too.
sir. No, I have 2 iPhones.
Oh,
I used to use Android, but I got tired of being tech support to my wife for the Android. So the iPhone is so easy. She had an iPad, an iPod. I got her that, and I switched to. So, yeah.
So you did it out of laziness, not out of good
That is
decisions.
correct. I call it out of
technical.
love. I
Out
call
of
it out of
love,
love. I
okay.
did it out of love. But you're correct. I'm very lazy, but I loved my Android phone because I could do so much more with it. It was just, but the wife had trouble, and a year of being tech support, I'm too old for that anymore. So I wanted the easier life.
Oh.
I bought an iPhone.
Hey, Nick.
Good morning.
There you go.
hello.
So how much snow do you have?
Only like 7 inches.
And how much would you have by this evening?
It's done. It snowed overnight.
It's done?
Yeah.
Oh.
So are you off to Cancun?
No, I'm not.
Is that
My-
the same system that's coming down here?
No.
Oh.
Coming down here. You mean the same system that's down there?
No, I mean, we're supposed to have some snow tonight. No,
this is
tomorrow
a-
night.
No, this is like a nor'easter. This is not.
It's what?
This is a nor'easter. This is not
Okay.
moving down the coast. It moves up the coast.
Did you clear a path?
I cleared the entire driveway.
Oof.
By hand?
No. Snowblower.
How many horsepower is your snowblower?
No clue.
What?
No.
Merle,
All I know is it's like 20 years old.
work?
I had to plug it in to start it. I couldn't crank it. It's too cold. It's only 6 degrees out.
It was 18 when I got up.
Geez, that's a heat wave. With the wind chill, it's -9 as of right now.
Yeah, they were saying it's in the single digits, but with the wind chill, but I didn't see any wind. I mean, the
That's a
flag
here.
out there is just droopy. But last night it was almost like it was a hurricane kind of situation with the wind. It was weird.
What was it all about, Amnon? I couldn't figure it out either.
It was about the weather. What do you mean? What was it all about?
I mean, was this cold front coming in? What was
Yeah.
the story?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty warm yesterday. It was in the 50s. And then it dropped down to the 20s. So they were talking about a cold front that was approaching. One of the tarps on top of the sheds that the truck is under is gone.
Gone where?
Gone, I don't know, probably next to the parking lot. I mean, I just glanced at it out this morning, and the truck is under the sky. It's all right. I'll go later when it warms up a little bit and see what happened. But
How much is it going to warm up today?
it's going to be in 31, something like that. But better than it. It's better than 18.
That is
Gee,
not.
you guys are lucky. 31 degrees.
That's warm for you, right?
The high today is 9.
Ouch.
The high tomorrow is 9. The high
Don't you have to
Tuesday
live
is
in
the high Tuesday is 17. The high Wednesday is 20. The high Thursday is 8. The high Friday is 15. Next Saturday 23.
That's brutal.
So we'll not
That
break
is
30 for the next
brutal.
week.
What about you, Merle?
Oh, it's cold here. I mean, it's like 11 degrees out.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah. In Ohio, that's cold.
Now we're talking.
Yep.
So the that story about digital life and stuff, I mean, this is something to think about.
What do you mean?
Vint Cerf, often described as the father of the internet,
I
believes
thought it was Al Gore.
It is Al Gore.
that's his real name.
Oh,
Believes
all right.
we may
I knew
be on the fast track to a digital dark age as a result of our heavy reliance on rapidly changing technology. During the recent speaking engagement at the annual American Association of the Advancement of Science conference, Google's vice president and chief internet evangelist correctly highlighted the fact that much of our lives, our memories, and our most cherished family photos now exist as bits of information on a hard drive or in the cloud, which is still just a hard drive somewhere in a data center. We've been taught to digitize our old media for preservation purposes. We now snap photographs with digital cameras. Newspaper and magazines are slowly disappearing. We now send emails, text messages, and tweets instead of written correspondence. Everything, even driver's licenses, is moving to digital formats, and that's quite an ironic problem, according to Cerf. As technology continues to evolve at breakneck speeds, it's entirely likely that future generations will have a huge repository of our digital data. The problem is that they won't have any way to access it, as future technology may not be compatible with the standards we use today. It makes perfect sense when you think about it. Just look at something like as trivial as video games, for example. Many of the games from years ago are no longer compatible with modern hardware and software. And the ones that do still work are usually buggy at best. What's more, information stored on floppy disks, and more recently optical disks, is becoming increasingly more difficult to access for the simple fact that the hardware to access them is no longer common. Now imagine What would happen if the internet and all of its digital data disappeared? We'd stand to lose an awful lot of our history. Much more needs to be done now to preserve our digital lives. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University have created a system that can take digital snapshots of a computer's hard drive running different software programs and emulate it on another system. This allows the otherwise defunct files to remain usable. And the last thing, it says, there is a lot we can do in our personal lives as well. As a good first step, he suggests printing out photos that you really care about for future generations. So instead of taking the old photos and digitize them, which is not a bad thing to do, but the new photos that are you taking with your iPhone, Android, whatever, digital camera, print them if they are important.
Why would you print them?
Because they can get wiped in a split second.
And they're going to get lost or destroyed when your house burns down or floods in a quick second.
That's true, but same thing would happen to the pictures that we
I
had
don't really
back
understand
then.
the purpose. I didn't really understand the purpose of that article at all.
If
the article just,
if the
if you're not doing backups and you lose your stuff, you're kind of screwed. I mean, that's common
true.
sense, right?
That's true.
And
the reason
everything is being archived. They said that there's services that are archiving. Look at archive.org. They're backing up everything.
right.
So I don't
But
really understand
his
that
his
article
point, and you're too young to know this. I have a lot of information on 5 1/4 discs. Do you know where they are?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
There
agree.
is
You have that
nothing
kind
you
of
can do with
information.
them today.
Well, yeah, I just had this conversation with my boss last week because he was asking me about should he actually use a cloud service to back up, and he doesn't do really anything exciting on a computer, but I mean, he just had a granddaughter, and so they do have a lot of pictures. So I told him if I was him, I would not only back up to the cloud, but I would also burn it to DVD, CD,
Mhm.
maybe put it on a thumb drive, whatever. But and I had this same conversation with him. I said I would put it on the cloud because I too have some data on 5 1/4-inch floppies, when I was in school writing papers that I would like to have access to. But I mean, I don't have the hardware now to pull that information up.
Right.
So
See, I would say putting on a CD or a flash drive is better than printing.
yeah, but even those things fail. I mean, I guess the point is 20 years from now, are they going to make CD DVD drives to read the medium?
And
it-
and will the computers have the interfaces to interface with them? I mean, I can
Right.
get I have a bunch of 5 1/4 floppy drives, but what do you connect them to?
But yeah, you can get a USB floppy drive for like $5.
Yeah, you're talking about a 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you have? 5
we're
1/4?
talking about 5 1/4.
The original
Yeah.
floppy drive.
I mean, it is a problem, and we're not talking about something that happens over 2 years or 3 years. Yeah. I mean, I save them also. I have a bunch of photos that are on the drive. Yes, I do have many backups, but will they be there in 20 years? Will they be there in 30 years?
Right. But see, I think that I think we've always. I mean, but who wants it in 30 years? Because as you guys know, I'm dealing with we lost a 90-year-old relative not too long ago, and we were going through all this stuff, and he had lots of pictures, and it was really sad because nobody wanted the pictures. They were so old. He was 90. Most of the people are either his daughter died before him, so most of the people in those pictures were either dead or nobody knew who they were. So in 30 years, does somebody want those pictures? Do I need access to my tax records?
No.
Is it that big of a deal?
It's
I
mainly
don't know.
pictures.
Right.
And I'm sure people would want, I would hope that somebody would want this, but this is history.
Well, it's true, but it's amazing how many people did not want the pictures of their
No,
family.
nobody wants it anymore. That's the
Thank-
problem. I mean, nothing against Nick, but people his age don't have the desire for the legacy things that we old farts do.
Right.
You
Yeah, he had a
hear-
whole case of slides and a projector, and it was really cool sitting looking through those because you're seeing old cars. I live close to Dayton. He had pictures of Dayton, 60 years ago. But nobody wants it. Nobody's interested in it.
I
I
don't
wonder if that's
know.
because people will take it and they know what'll happen. It'll sit in a box in the basement, and it'll get moved here, it'll get moved there. It's like, physical stuff sucks. It ends up sitting in boxes, it ends up in the basement, it ends up in the crawl space, and then
Yeah, but Nick, when you get to be our age and you go back and pick up a picture of something that happened very early on, someone who passed away or something,
but I won't. That's the problem.
Yes, you
I know you
will.
won't because you're not going to have it.
No, I won't, Amnon. I disagree. I will not pick up a picture. There won't be a picture to pick up. It'll be digital, and if I don't have the
And what
digital
if you don't have it?
then I don't. But I'm saying I'm not going to have the physical picture. Nobody's
Mm.
printing pictures.
So you don't want to pass on to your great grandchild your first on the radar.
No.
He's-
I'm not saying I'm not going to pass stuff on, but I'm saying Mike said when you go and pick up a picture, there won't be a picture to pick up. There won't be any physical pictures.
That's a semantic.
If you want to see, I mean, you remember how excited you were to look at a video of one of your first shows during one of the hangouts? And it
Yes, I
was-
still have that video.
I understand. I understand
Okay.
perfectly. But if you keep it on the hard drive only or in the cloud somewhere, and you don't have it on DVD and other ways,
What the hell's
to
the
back
use of having it on DVD? You just said yourself. What happened with floppy drives?
but the one thing that you can do, and unfortunately, not many people is doing this. Listen to what Tim Barber is saying in there, and that's what you're supposed to do in the chat. You're supposed to take all your data and move it to the next generation.
But that's not going to happen.
I
mean,
know that's the problem, is that we don't do
Exactly.
it. And
so exactly. So then, if that's the case, then I've got it on my hard drive and I've got it on the cloud. If
well,
I understand your point, but you know
I-
exactly what's going to happen.
I print pictures. I mean, if it's a picture that's important, I'll print it and stick it in a file.
No, but you know what'll happen. I'll have a case full of DVDs. DVDs will come out of use.
Right.
10 years
Right,
later, can't get
but-
a DVD drive, and
Yeah.
now I've just got a bunch of useless DVDs.
True. So what you do is you go to the newer DVDs, you go to a Blu-ray.
But I'm
I
not
mean-
going to spend. But you see the thing, nobody's going to spend the time to do it. You
Hey,
could
look,
have.
when you-
More important things to do, like video games.
You could have done the same thing with the floppies, Amnon. Why didn't you?
Well, we used to use the floppies, and we used to back up our 10 megabyte hard drive on floppies, and it'll take about, I don't know how many, 30, 40, 50 floppies. And then somebody said, there's such a thing as a tape. And we got a tape, and suddenly everything fits on one tape. And then you go to 2 tapes and 3 tapes. And I remember having about a series of about 12, 13 tapes. And that was ridiculous because, and then suddenly you're going to say, oh, I can put it on a CD. I can put it on a DVD.
But what happened to
you
but-
just
but-
compress and you get something in a smaller space and you keep it that way. I mean, did I
But you
throw away
said
the
you did-
floppies? No.
But you just said you didn't do that.
For my personal stuff, I didn't do much. For the business, I did.
Exactly. So you didn't do.
I
so,
know.
like-
I'm not exempt from this
oh, I know. But I'm just saying the point,
dark
that's
age,
just,
digital dark
that's just
age.
what happens. Nobody wants to spend the time to do it. I mean, that's just what it is.
Well, you don't want to do it. You are being told that you should, and if you don't do it, that's up to you. But when the
But I
time
just-
comes,
it's not gonna happen.
when the time comes, and your kids want to see pictures of your granddad, and there are no pictures anywhere, and you have to say, sorry guys, we don't have any. And when they are grown or your age, and they will tell you, well, why didn't you put it on a KDW, whatever the standard is going to be, and say, we didn't have that back then. Yeah, but you had something. And you see, and you say, wow, I remember when we were talking about it on Computers 2K Now. I wish I did do it. I'm
Okay.
not saying that it
1984.
happens. It may happen. What did you say,
It's
Mike? I'm sorry.
1984 all over again. If you don't have the history, then it didn't exist.
Yeah.
But the good news is it's a matter of personal choice. If you don't want to
Exactly.
save it, you don't have to right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of personal choice.
I don't even think it's a fact of personal choice or a matter of personal choice.
Well, this is
Just a matter
why. This is
matter
why.
of things happen and stuff just doesn't get done. It's simple as that.
This is why I keep old hard drives. I don't reformat them. If I need a new hard drive because I need a bigger one, I put the other one in a bag, put a date on it, and stick it on the shelf. Hopefully, like I said, there may not be a way to interface those drives in 10 years. I don't know.
So if that's the case, then what is the benefit of them?
That right
They have
now,
great magnets.
what'd you say?
They have great magnets in them.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
I
mean,
am too.
it's the least that I can do. Am I lazy?
It's not. If you wanted that data enough, you would copy it to SATA drives and you'd be done with it. But you're not because you've got other things going on in your life, and that's not a top priority, correct?
It is a top priority when I
Well, if
think
was a top
about it,
priority,
and then it
then
does,
it would get done.
and then those things get copied to other sources, but the original drive stays there. I mean, look, when I upgrade a drive, I copy it to the new drive, to a SATA drive or to a whatever, but I keep the older drive, the IDE, intact. That's what I'm talking about. It's the more backups you have and the more sources you have, the better chance that you will be able to get to it if the need arises. The main thing we're talking about here, though, are pictures, which
Yeah,
people
so,
really don't put a lot of thought to. I mean,
Until they lose them.
exactly.
So now you just go ahead and put it on Facebook because did you guys see a couple days ago?
Uh-huh.
Facebook said that they're going to allow you to designate a friend or family member to be your Facebook estate executor and manage your account when you're dead. So there you go. There you go, Nick. Put everything on Facebook and
I'll pass.
Yep. And you hope that Facebook is going to keep it for you, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Hope they don't go out of business.
It's something. I mean, I don't expect Nick. I don't expect you to I wouldn't say understand it, but
I know. I perfectly understand what you're saying.
I know,
But I just know
but I
for a
don't-
fact,
I
just
said
knowing how people are and knowing how I am, it won't happen.
It-
It's simple as that.
at your age you can't see it. As you grow older, you would realize things that happen, pictures that I took. I mean, I want to have them.
Exactly, and I'll regret it then. But I know it's not going to happen.
Don't be so sure. Anyway, why is Paul saying somebody tells Shutterfly they better stop expanding? What is this all about?
Well, Shutterfly
was
is
just- Go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, you know what Shutterfly is. My wife uses it. It's a fantastic service where you upload your pictures to the cloud and you can print them and send them and do all kinds of stuff. It's really a nice service.
Paul, why are you saying, oh, because they do photo prints? Oh,
For example, I don't even have a CD drive in my new computer.
Yeah, I don't understand that. So why did you go that route? I mean,
Because
I mean,
because I don't use CDs. Nothing has CDs that are useful.
so you do all your local backups on like thumb drives or
I do them all to yeah. I have one of the. Let's see, I have one of these things, one of these pluggable
right?
drives that I do my backups to, and then I have Carbonite. But I have no benefit for it. There's no use for a CD drive. Software comes with CDs. You throw the CD in. What happens? The drivers are out of date. It's like there's There's honestly at this point that I'm gonna probably get a USB one, but I have no reason to use it. Like my motherboard and stuff, they all came with CDs, but the stuff would be out of date on the CD, so I'd have to install the drivers and then update them. So I just went to the website.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to go let the dog out.
Well, what's the seriously? What are the uses of CDs right now, or DVDs?
What do you mean? What's the use?
Like what do you need to do on a CD or a DVD right now?
I keep the show on a CD. I copy it to a CD every week.
That's but that's like an older school mentality.
Okay.
But I'm saying like for people my age, what is the benefit of having a CD drive? So you can listen to your music? No. To watch movies? No.
What do you do today when you buy a new piece of software?
People don't everything's key based. I mean,
so you have to download it.
Yeah, you go ahead and you buy Office from the store. You go to the Microsoft website, you download Office. I mean, the same thing even with Windows. I installed Windows on that computer. I went to the Microsoft website and downloaded the Windows ISO and burned it to a USB drive.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I bought a piece of software at the store, so I don't know how they come. But I'm sure.
Stores don't even sell it. I mean, there's like TurboTax and stuff that I know you need a CD for.
Yeah, and QuickBooks comes that way.
But yeah. I'm sure you could go to QuickBooks' website, install it, and then throw your key in.
Well, that's not how you buy it.
No,
I don't know.
If it has but I mean, look at with Office. The Office has got that key on the back of the disk or whatever. So you go to Microsoft's website, they let you download Office. You download it, you throw your key in, you're set. I mean, I can't think of the last time I was like, wow, if I had a CD drive. Even when I had a CD drive.
Mike, are we getting too old?
There's a lot to be said for that, Amnon.
I mean, Mike, what are you using CDs for?
I actually have a lot of things that I've archived on CD. There are some files that there are some files that I've stored on DVD that I would like to keep, but if the DVD becomes unreadable, it's not going to break my heart.
I know you've done that in the past, but what are you using for today?
Well, I still use CDs for Terabyte Unlimited to boot to the CD to do computer maintenance. I still run SpinRite from a CD. When I download a program and want to make sure I don't lose it, I make a copy of it on CD or DVD.
Okay.
But I store these on spindles. I don't have cases and stacks and stacks. I mean, I've got a bunch of them in cases, but now I use them for tertiary bulk storage.
Okay. But you would say that your everyday use is minimal. I mean, you said you're using it for SpinRite when a computer breaks, and I've got the same thing too. I've got copies of the Windows and stuff on CDs if I have to restore somebody's computer or something. But everyday use, I can't think of a reason to be using CDs.
There was
never. A floppy drive now is obsolete. The CD drive is not obsolete. Well, a CD drive per se is probably obsolete because it has such limited storage space, but a CD/DVD drive is still useful at the moment.
I mean, I know some of the software that I buy online, when you buy it and you get to the to pay for it, there is another line that says, check here to get a CD backup of what you're buying so you don't lose it. I don't understand.
I never do that.
What?
I never do that.
No, I know, but the point is that they will send you one if, of course, I mean, you download it and you put it yourself on a CD.
Of course.
But I guess some people will buy it, and so the service is out there. And if it's not a CD, it's a DVD. No, I mean it's still there's always going to be use for media.
But at this point right now, I can't think of a use for CD. Like Mike said, the CD/DVD. I mean, CDs are useless. They're way too small. And what's the size on the DVDs?
4.3 gigabytes.
Okay, so explain to us how you installed that Windows 8.
I went to the Microsoft website.
Right.
I downloaded an exe that they have.
Right, on another computer.
No, yeah, on the computer, my main computer at the
Yeah.
time, before I built my Windows machine.
Yeah.
The tool creates a bootable media drive. So I plugged in a flash drive. I selected the copy of Windows I wanted. This is from Microsoft's exe. It's just the straight ISO.
Mm-hmm.
I select, Windows 8.1 Professional. Click Next. It downloads. It asks me where I'd like to burn or where I'd like to burn it to. I select Drive K or whatever my flash drive was. Takes 5 minutes. It burns to the drive. I plug it into the computer. I boot it. I press F12, and now I'm in Windows.
So that's all good. And I mean, if you have a secondary computer, right? But if you've got a single computer, you can't go that route unless you have somebody.
Well, yeah, but if you have there was no OS on the computer. I just built it. So
Right.
Even if I didn't have a CD drive, even if I had a CD drive, I would have been in the same situation. I would have still needed to burn it from another computer. I didn't have an OS.
Right. That's true. True.
Well, that's the thing that I mean, if you wanted to build your own computer, or you're somewhere where you go to do something and the internet is down, there's a lot of situation where having actual media in your hand can save you, whether it's a CD or a flash drive. Yeah, I used to have a CD with all the utilities. Now I have a flash drive.
There you go.
Yeah, I understand, but there's still, I mean, the CD and that disc is still a valid piece of software.
Of course it's a valid piece of software. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah. I mean,
but at this point, I mean, look, laptops aren't even coming with DVD drives anymore.
And that's what I was going to say. Most people that I know that buy a laptop and it doesn't have a DVD player, they buy an external one.
Yeah, for those rainy day situations, but it's not
right.
I mean, for me,
right.
I need to go and buy a USB one because I do, computer support, whatever, from time to time, and being able to burn a CD is going to be useful. So for me, I'm buying the CD drive because I need to support other people, not really for myself.
It doesn't matter for what. I mean, the point is that it's available and you're using it. And really,
yes,
CD or DVD was never for daily use. It wasn't like you always used it. It's not like the early days before hard drives. It was to load a new program or to archive something. And you don't do that all the time. So, yeah, and when it comes to that, you're right. It's a whole lot easier to do it to a flash drive. And these days, I mean, whatever we started doing stuff on floppies and on tapes and then on bigger on CDs and stuff, now we do it to another hard drive, which is much faster. So things do get, they progress, and as long as you grow with it, and as long as you understand it, that putting it on a CD does not mean that it's good forever and ever. And if you have old CDs, 10 years old or whatever, take them out and see if they didn't change color. Some of the cheap ones back then, because they were expensive, we used to buy the generic ones. Some of them, the silver stuff will actually peel off. So there is a lot of situations where that media is no longer good. And just imagine, I don't know if they're taking, Merle, maybe you can talk about this or inject something. I don't know if they're taking that into consideration, an EMP for data center.
Oh, for backups?
I mean, do they when they build a data center, do they take into consideration we have to protect that room against an EMP?
Are you talking about commercial or government?
Commercial, government, private, whatever. I mean, data is data.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to build basically a Faraday cage that would encompass a large data center, I mean, it all comes down to risk management, right? I mean, if the data is worth it, they'll do it. But I mean, you'd have to ask Google that question. I mean, do they have their data centers in a big Faraday cage? I'm going to say probably not. However, their equipment, depending on what they buy, I don't know what they buy because I'm not in the commercial sector, but there is ways to, and equipment you can buy that have that kind of shielding, but it's super expensive. So,
yeah, because that in a split second can destroy everything all across the country, all across the world.
Yeah, if we ever have an EMP, we're not going to worry about our CDs and DVDs.
Yeah,
that's
true.
What I'm saying. If there's an EMP, I don't really care about
yeah,
Not
but it's
glad you said that. EMP has no effect on DVD or CD.
Well, right, but I mean the player, I mean that you would put it in, or the computer is toast, right?
Not necessarily.
So there might be a reason.
If it's got
there's a reason to have
electronics,
CDs
if
and
it has
DVDs.
One talk at a time.
What did you say, Merle?
Oh, I just said so. There might be a reason to maintain CDs and DVDs, and hopefully you can find a DVD player that hasn't been fried, and maybe you can recover some data.
Yeah.
You can wrap it in tinfoil.
But
there you go.
But I mean, let's go further. There's not going to be electricity to do it with.
Well, you have a generator.
All right, this is getting insane.
Yeah, this is.
Thank God I have a CD.
It just could be. It just
this could
something.
Be computer preppers 2K now.
But let me just say this, and I can give you this honestly.
Yeah.
If you are worried about putting stuff on some type of other media, do it on USB. Do not put it on CD at this point. I would say USB needs to be your first thing, because at this point, computers aren't coming with CD drives, and USB drives are so cheap now. Put it on USB, and if you want to put it on CD, then go ahead. But
let's be clear. You're saying USB external drive, or are you saying USB thumb drive?
Whatever you're trying to store. If you want to put it on a thumb drive.
I don't agree.
I don't either
Okay.
Because and I don't know the statistics. Mike, you might know something I don't know because you said it, but
I'm sure I do.
What's the mechanical failure rate of a thumb drive or an external USB compared to that of a DV or CD?
Forget that. The problem with thumb drives is they are the cheapest, lowest quality memory that you can possibly get. I would agree with you to create a USB, to do a USB as in an external drive, which actually presents a couple of options. If I have it here, yeah, I do. What I strongly recommend, and this is what I've started doing, I don't know how well you can see this because we're not in HD, but you see this little case that I have here?
Mm-hmm.
It is a case, an external enclosure for a 2.5-inch drive. Now, if I can figure out how to do it, watch how this works. Trying to get the right angle here. I pull this out like this. Then I pop this down like this. The drive comes straight out.
Mm-hmm.
This is a USB 3.0 a enclosure. It comes with a cable. You connect it to USB 3.0, and it'll run as fast as the drive, in essence, that you put in there. So what you have done is created a USB, external USB drive that would be useful. And again, just put it back in, just slide it in until it snaps, and close and snap this, and you now have a USB drive. The good news is that unless you're like Nick and throw everything away, you might have some 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 gigabyte USB drives that came out of laptops laying around that were replaced because they're too small, that if you've moved the data over to another drive, you can, rather than throw the drives away or leave them on a shelf, why not go get one of these cases? They're only $15 a piece at Intrax. They're also available online. I found the brand name on them. I'll get a link here in just a minute. But you can do two things. You can either use one as a changeable case, or you can buy enough of them for drives you use regularly. And instead of throwing these drives away because you're scared that somebody's going to spend $100,000 reverse engineering your drive to get off your checking account data, you can go ahead and use these and store your pictures on them and create tertiary or whatever the quaternary storage is. I do it all the time. And this is just the sweetest little technique. When I went back to buy some more of these at Intrax, I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, "Do you know how good of a deal this is?" He said, "Of course I am." He said, "I recommend them all the time." I said, "If I were here, I would have one behind the counter, so every time somebody walked in asking the question, I'd pick it up and I'd sell a ton of these." He reached down, picked up a box. He said, "Like this?" I said, "Yep."
So, Mike, let me ask you this, though. I mean, from an availability state and mechanically, I mean, what, and like I said, when I started this started this conversation, from a mechanical perspective, there's a lot more that could go wrong with that mechanically than burning critical data to a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, from an availability perspective, what is, am I safer to store it the way you're doing it, or am I safer to store it on a DVD CD?
There's no safe way to store it.
But okay, which is the safer way, I guess?
There is
Both.
no safer way to do it.
There is both.
There is not. Channel just went offline. Apparently we just lost internet.
Oops. Yeah, hold it.
I'm just at my point is at this point my first backup would not be CD/DVD.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Nick. What I'm saying, let's wait till we go back on the air because somebody might be listening to this.
It looks like we are on the air,
Yeah,
but
still
maybe
are.
Let me hit refresh. Maybe it's...
I lost it too.
JustCast is working.
But JustCast isn't the mainstream, so no, it's back.
It's back.
Stream up.
I
Yeah,
lost
it's
it
back.
too, Mike. That's weird.
So anyway, the point that I was making is that there's no safety in CD, DVD, USB, thumb drive, flash drive. There's no safety in any of that. There is a way to destroy each one of those. You can get into some statistical models that would say this one has a 0.01% chance of failing, this one has a 0.026. But the fact of the matter is, the only safety is in multiple backups.
Of course.
In different media. And that's where CD DVD has value. That's where thumb drives have value.
Oh, I'm not saying CD DVD don't have value. I'm just saying I would not make it my primary backup, as seeing now computers are not coming with CD drives. Make your USB, back it up to an external hard drive, or that little enclosure, or any other way to back it up to an external hard drive.
Right.
Do that way, and if you want to do another backup, do it CD DVD. But I would not make that your bread and butter backup, because 5 years from now, what computers are going to come with CD drives?
Oh, no one's going to argue with that.
So it's just, I'm not saying they're useless, but I would not be like Amnon. You're backing the shows up to those every week.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen when those CDs are useless? You're just going to have a spindle full of CDs with no way to interface with them.
So, I don't know. I mean, I was saying that I can't do anything with a 5 1/4. I'm lying, because in the garage I have some 386 machines from back in the 80s that still have a floppy 5 1/4 that I can, if I needed to, I can go and do something. But in general, it's just, what do you do with them? Not everybody has computers lined up with old technology in them. But it's you may be able to use that is this the only place that I have that? No, but it's easy, it's cheap, and there's no way that I'm going to have a bucket full of flash drives to put every week's show.
Yeah, but flash drives aren't the way to go. You would back up.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm being sarcastic. And Mike, that drive that you held in your hand, just so you guys know, and I don't know, I'm sure it happens to more people than it doesn't. The thing that goes bad in those things is the interface that changes the USB to the hard drive interface, because the hard drive is not a USB drive. It's a SATA, or it used to be IDE. And when that interface goes bad, it wipes the drive. On many occasions, and we used external drives, USB drives, for backup on Delta Force, we always had more than one. And on many occasions, one of them will say, can't read. And you take it and you check, and there's nothing on the drive. The drive is like not there, period. And you take that drive and you put it in another case, and now it sees the drive, but you have to initialize and format it. Nothing happened to the drive mechanically, but it's worthless because that little $2 board that's on the back decided to go haywire. And the drive is gone. The data is gone, not the drive. The drive hardware is fine. And you can use it in another enclosure. So don't think that these enclosures are safe or remotely safe. They're very cheap. And that converter that sits there in the back that converts whatever the drive interface is to USB, when it goes bad, it takes the data with it. And
Paul is asking, what's the best external hard drive out there for backing up photos and other files? And there are two answers. First, none of them's worth a crap because of the everything fails. In my guess would be that if you really want to go out and get your business taken care of and do it right, it's probably going to be an external RAID array network address storage device.
Like a Drobo or something like that.
I don't know what, probably. I think that's what a Drobo is. I don't know what a Drobo is.
That's a lot of money.
He didn't ask how much was the cheapest one. He said what was the best one.
I do have an answer. eSATA. eSATA is an external drive. There are no boards in between. It's just like you plug it a SATA drive inside the machine, but it's external.
But that's not necessarily the best answer because there's still failure.
There's always failure, right?
Of course, there's always going to be failure.
They're mechanical devices, but what I mean, I know in the government we rely on SANs a lot, but then it Mike, it goes back to what Mike says. It's how much do you want to spend? I mean, I personally like the storage array network where, I mean, you plug it into the network and I mean, you basically have access to it, and you can actually buy decent SANs devices for your home network.
You can get a Lenovo IX2 2-bay network attached storage device for $60 on Amazon.
There you go.
Doesn't
for how much?
The drives.
It's $59.
Post a link to it.
This was
I'm going to do that. I'm going to get an external RAID network address
Well,
storage, probably several of them.
Let me find a good one.
Keep in mind though that, and be careful with this before you do it. If you use a external USB drive or network address storage, Carbonite will not see it.
Right. Not
Unless you've got
pay.
the
Business.
the more premium one.
Yeah.
Well, but you can go to Backblaze and some of the others, and they will back them up.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yes, Sam.
did you do anything with the specials?
I did not. I don't have PowerPoint
Okay,
or anything
that's
installed
fine.
in this
That's okay.
computer, I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. Now I was just gonna ask if you sent it. All right, no, that's fine. Yeah.
I did install it last night though, so if I
Don't
need to
worry
do
about
for
it.
next week,
It's
I will be
fine.
able to.
Yeah, they're not looking at an external drive, and in that case, an eSATA they do see, because it is just like a drive that's plugged inside.
Okay, but to be clear, Amnon,
Yeah.
eSATA is nothing but a shielded connector that allows you to take a SATA drive outside of the cabinet. That's why it is in fact the same
Correct.
as plugging a SATA drive onto the motherboard.
Correct.
I know.
Yeah, and not only that's not the only advantage. The other advantage is it's fast as hell, because it's just
Not
like
fast.
huh?
It's not any faster than plugging a SATA drive onto the motherboard.
No, it's faster than a USB 2 or 3.
It's just the same as adding a SATA
It's
drive to your
absolutely.
computer. And,
Yep, it's as fast as the drive is.
and a lot of newer computers, because of space and size limitations, do not have room to add enough internal drives for some of us, in which case the external SATA drive is an excellent solution.
Right. And if you do not have an external SATA, an eSATA connector on the back of your computer, to buy a kit to make it is about $3 on eBay. All it is a bracket with the SATA cable that goes into the motherboard, and now you have an eSATA outlet plug on the computer. In the early days, I actually took a long SATA cable and ran it from the motherboard through one of the slots in the back, which we left off, to come out and connect to a SATA drive, which was powered separately, and it worked. If you're in a place where you don't have to move stuff around, you can put a SATA drive on the shelf and use it that way. Will I do it today? No, because today the hardware is there. It's available to stick it in a box that has the power supply and just plug it into that outlet, into that receptacle.
And there, Mike, I posted that link in there for that Lenovo network
looking at it.
device. I mean, you can't really beat that. $60 plus those WD Red drives, or you can even go. You can even go with.
I didn't
black
have good
or
luck
whatever.
with the red drives.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, the Reds are for NAS, so I don't know. I've never used them, but you could go with a. In that case, if it's a NAS and you're not going to be really pulling stuff from it real time, you could even go with a blue or a green. It'll be slower,
Ugh.
but
Never green.
depending on how much you're looking to spend.
Never green.
So that will do it at 100 megabits or a gigabit
It's
speed.
got a network interface, so it'll do it at a gigabit if you probably hook
Yeah.
it directly to a computer.
Right.
But you can't beat that $60.
No, you can't.
And I'm sure they've got their Lenovo Cloud Connector, whatever their service is called, that backs the stuff up to the cloud or something too.
Very interesting.
Nick, what do the Drobos go for? Do you know?
They're a little more expensive. I would not get a Drobo. They're slow, but that's the one that normally people know
Why are they slow?
because they're just slow. They've always been slow, but they're the one. When you say Drobo, people kind of know what that is. So. But I mean, they're all the same. Netgear makes some, Buffalo makes some, WD makes some.
Interesting.
You just got to decide how many drives you want. The more you go up in drives, the cost goes up very, very quick. This $70 one, $70 one, I might pick this thing up myself.
I'm reading some comments about this one that you posted, Nick.
Okay.
And the comments, the 5 comments, they're really dogging Seagate drives. One guy says the only drives I ever had fail both in PC and brand new out of the box were Seagate. I have 12-year-old Western Digitals that have been on for 12 years continuously that haven't failed yet. I have everything triple and quadruple backed up just in case. I have 17 terabytes of external drives to keep it all backed up, as well as 300 gigs of online backup for really important stuff. I tried 3 different Seagate internal drives, and all 3 died within a week. One died within 5 minutes.
So,
Since then,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
no, I got a couple more. Since then, if a PC comes with a Seagate drive, I remove it and put it in nearly anything else, Samsung, Western Digital, etc. I have even had Maxtor drives go bad within days of purchase. Next person says, thanks, that's what you get for using Seagate, the worst hard drives available. And finally, someone says Backblaze, a cloud backup storage service provider, completed an internal hard drive reliability study. You can find it here. The results showed that Seagate hard drives had the highest annual failure rate compared to other drives, including Western Digital and Hitachi, both which proved to be more reliable.
Right, but this one is diskless thing, right?
Right.
You can put
diskless because it doesn't come with a disk. You have to buy them.
Right, but you don't have to use. The fact that they have Seagate listed below does not mean that you have to use Seagate drives.
No. Well, see what I don't like, and this is a problem with reviews online. Why would somebody give this a negative review because Seagate drives suck?
Because they're idiots.
Like what? Like why would I give this a 2-star review saying, well, I've had 3 Seagate drives dying in it? No, you need to be giving the Seagate drives a 2-star review. You need to try this with good drives and then give it a review.
What do you think about the people who give it a negative review because it was destroyed in shipping?
Yeah, they're so stupid.
Guys, the reason why they're talking about it in those reviews, these are the reviews on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Because they're listing Seagate NAS HDD right below it. It makes you think that it needs to go with it.
No, it doesn't. Anybody that's got half a brain and knows and would buy one of these devices knows you can plug. That's not an excuse. If you scroll down, it says frequently bought together, and it shows a WD drive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I wonder. Oh no, but the Carbonite is not going to see that either. That's right.
No, but you can. But now, what you can do is, if you've got an older computer, you can run FreeNAS or something and hook up a bunch of SATA drives that way.
Well,
that's a very plausible solution as well. And then with Carbonite, you could back that up because it would back up all the drives on the computer. So that is a very
well, the eSATA works, so it's fine. This is still a good thing to have and put it somewhere on the shelf and just back up stuff to it. I can actually eliminate a computer that I'm using just as a file server, and have this. I'm definitely going to get one.
Here's an excerpt from this Backblaze article. It says the drives that just don't work in our environment are Western Digital Green 3 terabyte drives and Seagate LP low power 2 terabyte drives. Both of these drives start accumulating errors as soon as they are put into production. We think this is related to vibration. The drives do somewhat better in the new low vibration Backblaze storage pod, but still not well enough. These drives are designed to be energy efficient and to spin down aggressively when they are not in use. In the Backblaze environment, they spin down frequently and then spin right back up. We think this causes a lot of wear on the drive. Highest failure rate is the Seagate 1.5 terabyte drive. second highest, Seagate 3 terabyte. Next, Seagate 4 terabyte. Next, Western Digital 3 terabyte. Then Western Digital 1 terabyte. Then Hitachi 4 terabyte. Then Hitachi 2 terabyte. And the best performing drive on this test is the Hitachi 3 terabyte. I don't know the date on this test, but there have been some newer drives since then. But the point being here, what this information is useful is, if you, Amnon, like as religious as you are about backups, when you have 3, 4, 5 backups of your most critical data, you ought to have one brand. Every backup ought to be a different brand. And what I would take away from this article on Backblaze is, if you don't have any Hitachi drives, you should add some to the mix. Yellow.
Well, that was an Amnon thing. I think he stepped away.
Oh.
That's interesting because they can actually do a real test in such a large scale.
Oh, I would absolutely give credibility to their numbers. Now,
Oh, as would I.
The thing that bugs me about this sort of test is, if they ran it again in 90 days, it might have different results.
Yeah.
Because these designs on these drives, they're always coming out with new models, finding ways to make them cheaper, moving from one plant to the next. What's old stock left on the shelf somewhere, the data are not infallible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at this.
Anybody uses one of those drives, one of those enclosures that is through Ethernet?
No.
I didn't know they sold enclosures through Ethernet.
No, I mean,
Well,
that's what this is.
No, I know. Yeah, no.
That's what I mean.
NAS, not
I
thought you meant like
anybody
a hard drive
uses a
enclosure.
NAS?
I do not.
Yes, I do at work.
How do you address it? Is it just like drive P or whatever, or you
Yes.
have to use? You do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't you have to give it a UNC name, like // NAS / folder name?
I didn't set it up.
But when you copy to it, I'm not talking about the setup. When you want to copy stuff to it, do you tell it to just go to drive later, or
I mean,
you
at
have
least
to-
with this is on the Mac, so I don't know how this compares, but I just see it on the Mac as another device, like an external hard drive, and I just drag.
It's
my
not an
photos to it
IP
and stuff.
address. It's a letter.
It might be an IP. No. In this case, it is an IP address, but it doesn't show as an IP. It shows as a drive, a mapped drive.
Okay.
So this makes no sense. An Hitachi HGST Dexstar NAS 3.5-inch 4 terabyte 7200 RPM SATA 3 64 kit is $165 on Amazon.
What is it? I'm sorry.
And that's actually now a Western Digital, actually.
Well,
It's-
that's my comment, and that is that why is it, and why you have to think about these numbers before you run out and buy something. Is there really going to be any difference between Western Digital and Hitachi? And are the Western Digitals going to get better, or the Hitachi's going to get worse? When does that happen? I mean, you just don't know what you're buying anymore. I do place a lot of credibility in the online reviews on Amazon. There's some pretty dedicated people who try to get the word out. You have to read through the 1 stars and knock out about half of those. But in my experience, when I have purchased something from Amazon and been dissatisfied with it, if you go back and read through the negative reviews, somebody probably complained about the problem you're having. Let's see what the 1 stars on this thing are.
A lot of 1-stars. Didn't work with my computer. Didn't have the right port for it.
Yes,
UPS
this
destroyed it.
the ones I like are, this doesn't work with my Mac. It must be a piece of crap. It says in the description, not Mac compatible. Well, that's not fair. You ought to be making this from Mac, so therefore you get a 1-star review. It'd be nice if Amazon had a way to do an idiot block.
Yeah, that's one thing that Amazon does not have is a way to. There's no there's no review moderation, which I disagree with. There really should be.
Mm.
1-star review. Get this.
All right.
Ordered new, got an unsealed box inside an open bag from Amazon, no less. Not happy to say the least. After reviewing many drives and reading how often vendors bait and switch with in-house warranties, used hard disk drives, figured Amazon wouldn't do that. To be clear, it's through Amazon, added to the cart by HGST, a Western digital company, so I assumed it's 100% new and not a cheap or refurbed one from a shoddy company. I'm not a geek, just wanted reliable, so paid the piper. Gonna call Amazon to see what's up, then maybe get my tech buddy to try it. If it doesn't get exchanged, I'll keep you updated. Update. Okay, little late. Called Amazon, super nice. However, no clue as to why I received a new HDD. Asked person I spoke with to look into it. No more peeps have issues like this. I am returning the HDD and got a refund. Caveat emptor. On a side note, I ordered from Amazon vendor from out of state instead of just getting a replacement, whereas I pay no tax. That screwy deal where Amazon has to charge us tax sucks. It was about $15. What an idiot.
So he did not review the drive at all.
No. It was all about Amazon.
People just aren't really too smart. I don't think I've ever left a review on Amazon, positive or negative.
I have.
You have. I agree with Mike. You have to read them. You have to go through them and then make up your own mind.
They're useful.
Yeah, they are. And the people that do leave something, at least they go out of their way to do it. And that guy, in his opinion, but I mean, he feels like that, and you need to take that into consideration. Is it a big thing? No.
But I disagree with that case because now that product is now having a 1-star review for an Amazon screw up, and that's not
but
really...
it doesn't matter. The thing is that you make up your own mind, and okay, so there's a good chance. No, not a good chance. There's a remote chance that I'll get an open drive.
No, but that's no. I disagree with that 100%.
Why?
I mean that's because that's a shipping error. That's not a drive or an error. That's just a shipping error. That happens with everything.
I understand, but that doesn't change the fact that you got something that's open. And it's probably a brand new drive that was never connected to anything, but
I don't know.
I'm saying probably. Yeah, there is a chance. But you and if you get one, you call Amazon, they will replace it.
Of course they will. But at that point I don't think you should be leaving the product a 1-star review. You should get your new drive and review it that way.
Yeah.
I just think it's insane to leave. It's insane for me to leave a product a 1-star review because of an Amazon shipping error. That's idiotic.
Well, that's true too. Don't jump the gun.
I really don't get it. Don't do that. It's so. I don't know. It's idiotic.
It's just something that you need to keep in the back of your mind when you make decisions. I mean, if you read
people don't read that, they just look at how many 1-star reviews and they take it that way.
But if you read more and more reviews that talk about the same thing, I got an open bag, you say, well, there's a pattern here. What's going on? Did Amazon buy a shitload of open bag on a deal, and that's what they're selling me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if it's one person that's saying it, you don't pay attention to that. And at that point, if if 10 people said that, if 10 people left reviews and they get 4 stars because of one person leaving a negative one, then you know that that it's actually 5 stars, because the math was done by a computer. Computer cannot make up their mind whether this was good or bad. They saw a 1 star, so they averaged it. That's why I'm saying you need to make up your own mind, which is fine. I mean, you look, when I buy on eBay, you go and you look at the percent of bad reviews that seller had.
Did I ever tell you about what happened with my eBay thing a few months ago?
I don't know. Tell us again for anyone who might not have been listening.
So, at the web, I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with the website slickdeals.net. They users submit deals and whatever. And there was an eBay deal for a PlayStation 4, and it was a good deal. It was like $150 off, not something you normally see.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, being, a little, thinking this thing is a little shady that the PlayStation's $150 off and nobody else can offer that, I go to the page, person's got good reviews, all that stuff. I buy it. Turns out the account was hacked, and it was in a faulty listing. So it's, even sometimes those reviews aren't even, like, this was a legitimate account that was used, for legitimate buying and selling, and then it was hacked and a faulty listing was posted. So
yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got my money back. It wasn't a problem, but it was just like, the reviews are there. This is a valid account. They had, like some, 50, 60, was it A+ reviews or whatever in the past 60 days or something like that. And it was
that's
a fraudulent listing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good thing is if you pay with PayPal or something else, you've got plenty of actions of recourse.
I've actually had some fairly good experience, knock on wood, with eBay the last couple of weeks. I've been restoring some electronic equipment. Some of the parts are not readily available from suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually done one of the things I purchased was a triple output power supply, benchtop power supply. Probably was originally a couple $1,000 made by HP, and I ended up getting one for $80 shipped. And they last forever. And even if it needs to be repaired, I have a friend who has the service manual on it, and there's nothing in it that we can't repair. But it's supposed to be in good condition, so I purchased it. It'll be here next week. The point being that on that, as well as something that I am just getting ready to authorize now, I needed some. They're either discontinued or hard to get Cinch Jones terminal strips for a piece of equipment that has a broken one. And I went, found them in stock at a couple of places, and just out of curiosity, I went to eBay, searched on them, found them. A guy has 5 of them for $20 shipped, and that's about, a couple of dollars less than what I could get them from a reputable distributor. So I said, what the heck, I'll take a shot at it. I offered him $15, and he took it.
Nice.
So saved $1.50 a piece.
Yeah.
If I get them.
Very good for you, man.
Probably should have offered him $10.
Well, should have. Come on. Other people have to eat too.
Well, they don't have to eat off my table. But I'm glad to have these. This will be neat.
Let's see what else. I've got some news I didn't get to last week. Recent research has identified that only 1 in 10 cloud apps are secure enough for enterprise use. According to a report from cloud experts Netscope, organizations are employing an average of over 600 business cloud apps, despite the majority of software posing a high risk of data leak. The company showed that 15% of logins for business apps used by organizations had been breached by hackers. Over 20% of businesses in the Netscope cloud activity used more than 1,000 cloud apps, and over 8% of files in corporate sanctioned cloud storage apps were in violation of DLP policies. What's DLP?
No idea.
We don't know. Source code and other policies surrounding confidential and sensitive data. Google Drive, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Gmail were among the apps investigated in the Netscope research. So it's interesting, and I don't know. I think the cloud is a buzz. I don't. I mean, you use Carbonites. That's the cloud. I'm an ISP. Everything is in the cloud. But do I want my apps in the cloud? Heck no. I want them on my computer. I want to be able to use it without having to have internet. I want to have control over them. I don't want somebody else to control it.
Well, let me make one suggestion, something you might want to do, Amnon,
Yeah.
that I've done for myself, because in general I agree with what you just said. However, if for no other reason than when we come on this show and talk about things, we at least should try to know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I have investigated the use of some cloud applications to at least try to know more about what I'm talking about. One of the easiest ways to play with a cloud application is Google Docs. Log into your Gmail account, click on the apps, and go into Google Drive. Actually, it's go into Google Drive, and then it'll say New Document. We actually have, my wife, and I've mentioned this before, my wife and I have a couple of spreadsheets that we use to manage the household that are maintained on Google Drive. She can access them, I can access them. When she updates it, then I have access to it, and vice versa. It's very convenient.
Absolutely.
Now, at some point in time, will I log in and will not be able to get to it? Will I not be able to log in? I don't know. It's not a critical document. If it disappeared, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And but it's there for convenience, not for security. Time will tell whether it's worthwhile. But that's a good way to test and to at least get a feel for the application. Instead of just bad-mouthing it, you can actually find out what it is you really don't like about it.
Well, my point is that if I'm sitting here and all my applications are in the cloud and my internet goes down because Time Warner screwed up, I can't work.
I disagree.
Okay, explain.
Google Docs or Google Drive has an offline mode that lets you edit things when you're offline.
Is it automatic, or do you have to set it up?
Not sure. I haven't used it in a while.
So wait a second.
But
Explain. Explain that. So are you saying that?
Hold on, I'll try right now. I'm gonna open up my Chromebook and I'll try it on that.
No. Just, I mean, my question is simple. You mean you can download the applications to your computer and download the data to your computer so you can.
I don't know what it does. Hold on, let me check. It's been a while. Let me just disconnect from Wi-Fi here.
Did my chat freeze, or there's nothing going on in the chat?
Probably nothing going on.
Okay.
All right, so I just disabled my Wi-Fi.
Right.
And I went to drive.google.com, and it says, the server encountered an error. Please try again, but I can see all my documents here. So let me open.
You can see?
Yeah, I can see all my documents listed. Let me go to one. Here we go. Yep. So I'm now offline on Google Drive, Google Drive, and I just loaded episode 4 of the Infection Podcast show notes. There's
From
a little
where?
Thunderbolt
From
from
where?
Google Drive.
Wait a second. If you don't have Wi-Fi, how do you get to
I
download?
don't know. I'm telling you, I'm disconnected from Wi-Fi, and I went to drive.google.com. It tells me I'm offline. I double-click on it, and it says you are offline, but I can still view the entire document, and I can edit it if I want. So I don't know what Google's doing, but it works. Because I'm currently not on Wi-Fi. But I can, in fact, edit the
That
document.
makes no sense.
Well,
Yeah,
obviously, it's
something.
cached the file, right? Somewhere locally.
I have no clue what
It
it's doing.
It would have to be, but it would be best to understand how that works, which, Amnon, maybe you should start playing with it, and you
Maybe
can
I
figure
should.
that out and
Yeah.
report back to us.
All
Because
right.
let's see, I can open up, let me see what else I can open up on here. Let me go a little bit farther back to a document I haven't opened in a while. Here's an article I wrote.
I mean,
See.
that's a lot
Here's
of
an article.
caching,
Here's an article.
Merle.
I don't know what it's doing, to be honest with you, but
I know when I had Google Drive installed on my computer before I built this new one, I mean, I could drag and drop docs and things into the local drive, and it
Right.
sunk them that way. And
Yeah.
the doc was always there to mess with.
this isn't
So-
even on the computer. This is just the web interface. Let's see.
But you don't have a web interface because you're not on the web.
I'm saying it's through a browser. So apparently it's through Chrome. Okay. Here's some important things to know when you're offline. Use Chrome. Offline access doesn't work with other browsers. Let's see. What is still accessible when you are offline? On the desktop, you can view and edit Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drawings.
Really?
Correct.
So I guess the application is residing on your computer too.
I'm not sure. I don't understand.
No, it has to, because if you are disconnected from the outside world and you can still edit them, that means
No
that
clue.
there is an application, because I don't know that Microsoft Word is going to be able to get the Google Docs.
Let's see. Here's an article.
Directly.
Well, this is with Chrome. Google Drive has had offline access to files for a little while, but the process wasn't automatic. Let's see. First off, the automatic syncing only works if you're using Chrome OS or the Google Chrome browser. You need to have so offline access is already enabled. Once that is set up, every time you create a file in Google Drive, it will automatically save it to your hard drive, so you can access it anywhere. So there you go.
But what do you access it with?
Drive.google.com, the web
But
interface.
drive.google.com is you can't get
It's-
to.
Yes, you can. I'm on it right now. Drive.google.com.
No, then it's residing on your machine somewhere.
I
Right.
just said that.
Saying it's automatic is what they're saying.
Drive.google.com if you're offline. I just went to Google and I cannot get to google.com, but I can in fact get to drive.google.com.
Yeah, but you're not getting to it through the internet.
Yes, yes, I am not. I'm aware, but I'm using my browser.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can't open it up
That's
in Word.
so
You
it
have to
is
use
on your
browser.
machine. Well,
But-
so now if it is on your machine and all that, then what's
No.
the big deal about having it on Google Drive, because it's on your machine, which is
It's
nice.
just-
I
but it's-
mean, the what?
He's got a point.
What?
It's about time too. No, the idea is the sharing aspect of
Yeah.
it, and the fact
Yeah.
that you're normally going to be on, and it's going to maintain, in essence, a real-time backup for you. So it's a step above having it just on your drive, and not every cloud service does a backup. This is something that Google Drive has added that is beneficial. But
Yeah.
and the point that Amnon is making, even though he may not realize it, is that if you have a Chromebook and you have limited hard drive space, that locally cached copy that allows you to work when you're offline is going to use hard drive space.
Well, in my case, I do have a Chromebook and I do have limited, but I haven't seen any. I mean, see, it's not the drive. It's only backing up your sheets and stuff, so it's not like your
Right.
your Google
Your
documents.
videos.
It's
Yeah.
so minimal. It's not your entire Google Drive. It's your Google Sheets,
Right.
Drive, drawings.
Generally smaller stuff.
Yeah, something that
Sure.
you're not going to have a 10 gigabyte.
No, I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I mean, me too. In that case, it's nice.
So if you
can-
are offline, yes, you can use that.
Thank you, Nick.
You just have to
You get
use
a gold star for
but
the
you
day.
have to have Chrome.
it.
Yes.
It works with
Okay,
Chrome or the
yeah.
Chrome OS.
Okay.
So which means it's probably saving it in the somewhere with Chrome.
Which is fine.
Yeah. And if you want to, if you're offline, you can download it as a doc or whatever else, and if you want to edit in Word.
So you can download and save it in different formats.
Correct. Yeah, because it's saved in a Google Doc format, which is not openable from anything else, but you can save it as a doc or something else if you need to.
And you can, with Word, you can also save it to.
No.
So what
You
do you
have to
do
use
if
Google
you
Drive.
download it? If you download it as a doc and you edit it in Word, how do you get it back on Google Drive? Do you know?
You can re-upload it, but you wouldn't. I mean, the whole point of Google Drive is you edit it on Google
right.
Drive.
Yeah.
So you can upload a .doc, but that's not the same as a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
So you can upload the what is it, docx or whatever the file is.
That's for the later. Yeah.
So you can upload the .docx file and you can edit it, but it's not a Google Drive file. So if you go offline, it will not work. You
Okay.
need to keep it. It needs to be a Google Drive file.
So it
But you
doesn't
really never-
so it doesn't convert it automatically on the way to
Correct.
them, but it will do it on the way to you.
Yes. But
Interesting.
in my case, the only time I download docs is when I'm going to print stuff. Sometimes at school the computers get a little weird if you try to print from the web. So I download the doc and then print from Word. But that's very far and few in between. So there are alternatives, and plus everybody's already online anyway. I can't tell you the last time I went a long period of time without having
Right.
internet access.
But it's
so.
the thought. I mean, if you're not ready for it, and I'm not saying that for somebody who's just doing work, kind of like like around the house, it's a big deal. But a lot of companies are on Google Docs, and if you have 10 people working in your office and suddenly they can't do anything, that's bad news. That's what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that's good. Good to know.
There are options. You just have to be willing to play.
All right. What else?
I don't know. It's snowing.
I won't be here next week.
Yeah, obviously you don't have your priorities straight.
That's true.
You going to be shoveling snow?
No.
You going on a cruise?
No.
Where you going?
Then you have no excuse.
I'm going to New Orleans.
For what?
Work?
You going to Mardi Gras?
No. Not unless they've rescheduled it.
Don't be reporting about any bodies floating.
I'm not worried about that.
All right. Merle, do you have anything else to talk about?
No, I'm good. Thanks for letting me play today. It's fun.
Why doesn't Merle get a plug? Merle's never on this show. What do you do, Merle?
What do you
Nothing.
mean, what do I do?
Well, what do you do online?
I do all kinds of stuff online.
Well, now he's trying to sound like me.
Yeah, really.
What do you do online, Merle?
I do things. I'm not ready to plug that stuff. I've always been in kind of beta mode.
Oh, come on. Plug it. Stop. Not ready to plug that stuff. What do you do? What's the website?
You're funny, Nick.
You're really not gonna plug
No,
it.
I've never advertised. my
Mike,
stuff.
what's Merle's website?
I don't remember.
See?
It's been so long since there's been anything new on it.
That's false. I just uploaded something yesterday.
What? Then
Oh,
what is
really?
it? Come on.
I
What is the
did.
website?
I did.
I do see that.
www.mcprodnet.com.
There you go.
We're gonna
mcprodnet.com.
We're gonna get back into more tactical stuff. The gun show. The Average Joe's is a little. I need to find a new co-host that was as crazy as my libertarian buddy because I think that's what made it work. So
Crazy as your libertarian buddy.
yes.
Why,
Hey,
you need somebody just like you?
I'm not. Hey Mike, come on, cut me some slack. I'm
No,
not that crazy.
Merle's an authoritarian.
Yeah, according to Nick's little school project, I'm a, what
You're-
did they call me?
you're
A
a
left-leaning.
liberal. You're a left liberal centrist bordering on authoritarian.
You said it, Nick.
That's what
It's
it
a
is.
mouthful.
That's false.
And
False.
the 5-question quiz doesn't lie.
That's right. The 5-question quiz.
Does not lie.
We'll have to have Mike take that sometime. Or Amnon took it a little bit, didn't he, the other day?
I think so.
Yep.
Brent says you look like Ted Cruz.
Who?
You,
Brent
Me?
in the chat.
I do not look like Ted Cruz.
you actually do.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
Can I have your autograph?
We can't help it if you look funny. That's your problem.
It's a good thing I'm secure, Mike.
I understand.
Ba-dum-bum. Okay. All right. Well,
All right.
it's almost time. So anyway, we
It
can.
is.
I don't want to go.
All
You
right,
don't
well,
wanna go?
We'll see you.
Can I host the show?
You don't
can.
want to go to school.
I don't have to go to school. I'm on break all week.
You are?
Federal holiday tomorrow.
Yes, I am all week.
Are you kidding me? You're on break again?
I am, in fact.
Is it
Jeez.
because of the weather or it's a break?
No, it's the winter break.
Winter break.
Yes, sirree.
It's just
Yes.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Hey, I'm not a government worker. What can I say?
Oh, you must have been going. Come on. Man, say, contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of good government workers out there. Just the minority of them.
They just don't do anything.
That's not true. Some of them don't. You know, we've got our bad apples, just like lawyers, Mike. I mean,
No! Whoa!
you know.
Oh boy.
President's Day. So that's the 3-day weekend. I thought the government was taking off Valentine's Day.
I was at a restaurant Friday night, and the waiter said he didn't have to work Monday because of Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, wow, you're a bright one.
Oh.
You know, someone asked me the other day if Valentine's Day was a holiday, and I, of course, told him it's not. But
You should
I
have
mean,
said it was.
well, it's not. But I still participate. Otherwise, you know, when Mama's not happy, nobody's happy. So.
That's the truth.
Yep.
Back to you.
Jason, I mean, Dirtbag is off on Monday. So
Are you
they're-
off on Monday? I'm not.
Jason's off 7 days a week.
No, he's not. He works
Okay.
hard.
Who's Jason?
Jason is in the chat. He goes by Dirtbag.
Oh, okay. I thought it was another thing that, you know, like Brian Aldridge had a pig. I just found that out the other day. I was the only one who never knew Aldridge had a pig, so I thought Dirtbag was another.
You
thing guys
never
were keeping
knew
from me.
that?
No, I never knew that. I
Wow.
never knew he had a pig until the other night. That's why I asked you guys in chat. I'm like, so who knows? You know, Aldridge had a pig.
everybody.
Yeah, except me. Obviously, you guys have hangouts outside that you don't invite
No,
me to.
we
where
don't. It's just,
pig
you've
comes.
never heard that thing squealing
No.
in the background like it's being
No.
slaughtered?
Obviously, he's gated real good, and I couldn't hear
He's
him.
not. You can hear the thing squealing all the time.
Hey, Merle. Did
Yeah.
you know that Nick has a girlfriend?
Oh,
Did
now
you
I knew
hear the
that.
squealing? I'm sorry. No, never mind.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
We really went downhill. You better close this show out.
Nick, did you
Amnon.
go out yesterday?
No, I went out Friday.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see his tweet? He had a really sweet tweet with him and his lady.
No, I didn't see
Oh,
it.
there you go. Did you know Emnon has 2 dogs?
Yes, I knew that.
Okay.
I have
The
1.5.
pig
Did you know that Mike has a drill that drills square holes?
No,
I
didn't
don't
know
have
that.
one.
What do you mean you don't have one?
I don't have one.
What was
I
that
just
thing?
told you what they were.
What was that thing in the back of your vehicle the other day?
That's a router table.
Okay, I thought that was the.
No.
Okay.
We were talking about a mortising bit.
Oh, is that those like weird shaped ones that do the square?
Yes.
Oh.
Amnon
never
didn't
heard-
believe me when I told him
I
it was
never
drilling
heard
a
of it.
square hole.
So you'll catch up, Merle.
I'll
Yeah,
tell
I
you what I
guess
did
so.
do last night.
Oh
I dug out my HP 45 calculator.
And try to make a phone call with it.
No, that wasn't the one I made a phone call with.
Oh,
This one is from 1973,
yeah.
and it still works.
What's that thing come out the top? Is it plugged into power? What is that?
Well, yeah. From
Oh, it's not-
1973, Merle.
It's not bad. They had batteries back then.
Right, and I'm sure the batteries from 1973 work really well now.
They had AA batteries back. in
Guess what?
73.
Is it still working?
Whoa!
Oh, there you go. It's rechargeable.
Right, these are the same batteries from 1973. I left it on charge all night, and it's at least been powering now for 10 seconds.
There's a question in the chat for you, Mike.
How much did it cost? $400.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I bet you if there's an EMP that it'll still work.
Worth every penny.
Get a TI-84 Plus.
Well, no, I just bought an HP 35S. $54. I'm getting interested in electronics again.
TI-84 Plus, only $130 on Amazon.
This was $54.
Wow.
And of course, it does 25 times what the 45 does, but it's useful.
Calculator.
I may get into the electronics manufacturing business. I got enough crap around here that I wouldn't have to buy any inventory for the first 1,000 copies.
Can I build your website?
We'll see.
Sounds good.
You won't be able to. You'll go broke because nobody would want to buy something that expensive, that's built right.
Oh, I don't care. If they don't want to buy it, don't buy it.
No. Okay.
Hey, Jeff was saying $400. That's why the rest of us use slide rules. I will tell you, Jeff, I started out using a slide rule, and after you use one twice, $400 is a bargain. This sucker got me all the way through school and everything. I mean, that $400 was a lot of money in 1973, but I never regretted spending a penny of it. And it speaks to the quality because everything else I've got from 1973 doesn't work, and this thing still works perfectly.
I can't believe you still have that.
Were you serious? It was $400?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yep.
Hmm.
I mean, I was in engineering. It was my education, and boy, I'll tell you what, you have no clue. No, I did not have to buy it, but those of us who were really smart did buy them.
So it wasn't a requirement.
No, but everybody had one. I mean, there was no going back. I mean, it just opened a new. I mean, this was before computers. I mean, it opened doors that just had never been opened before.
Mm-hmm.
Can you type letters on that calculator?
No.
I'm not interested then.
Well, of course
Can
not.
Can you tweet with it?
Can you type hello and then give it to your friend and then make them laugh?
Yes.
Can you back it up?
No.
Can you install a game on it? Like, can you install a game on it like on the TI-84 Plus? I have Pac-Man on my TI-84 Plus. I
I doubt you can see this, but if you,
it does say hello. Yes.
Yeah,
There
and
we
you
go.
can probably write boobs too.
Anna, that's not appropriate. This is a family-friendly show.
What's wrong with that? Oh, Merle.
Yeah.
all right, wrap it up.
My computer is working very well. There we go.
Oh yeah. So give us a report, quick report now.
The quick report is it still works. And I don't have a CD drive, and I don't plan on getting one.
Hey, you don't need it.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh,
Did
and
you
the
move-
OV high still works too. There you go. That's another
Did
thing.
you move
Mine
the?
does too, and I still like it.
As do I.
Did you move the
worth
capture
70
card
bucks.
in it?
I did not. I don't know. I had to turn on my other computer first to. I gotta get some software and deactivate some software so I can move my keys over.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta eat. My food's getting cold.
All right, Mike.
See ya.
Bye, Mike.
Talk to you.
Have fun.
Keep it buzzing.
And you're happy with the purchase, Nick, right? It's what you expected.
It's what I expected. I don't know. So it's a lot of money.
It's okay.
$1,200 is a lot of money.
I mean,
especially
your old one was a lot of money at the time.
my old one, and at the time I was much younger.
Yep.
So it was a lot of money.
So that's fine.
Yes,
right.
happy with the purchase, not happy with the price.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yes.
And Merle has a new computer too.
Yep, running like a champ. Thanks to Brian Aldrich. Told me what to buy.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks. It was fun.
Take care.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, that's 1 o'clock, it's the Gisela DeCarlo's show, Brunch with Gisela. She changed the name. Talk about homeopathy, pets, and other stuff. At 8 o'clock tonight, it is the Tanya Love Show. See you then.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DeCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.